that's one of those deals where I keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best. But we need to make that happen, and you know this as well as anybody. We need a bunch more Republican senators.
Well, and that's why this election matters.
Oh yeah,
for all your listeners.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's one question, and my vote totally hinges on this one question. When was the last time you were back in Austin?
Back in Austin. Wow, that was like a couple years ago.
Did you go to Stubbs?
Did I go to where?
Did you go to Stubbs?
Yes, I did, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, see, right.
In the last year I was battling cancer, successfully, thankfully, but I didn't travel very much. And this year, I'm in the great state of California, traveling up and down, visiting and meeting wonderful people and telling them that we can take our government back, we can make it listen, we can make it work. We've all had enough of Barbara Boxer, so let's retire her once and for all.
Right, and and I know this is a question you're going to hear anyway, and I'm not just fishing for sound bites, but what do you think of, what's your take on Arizona's immigration law?
Well, I support the immigration law, and I think it's a shame that Barbara Boxer keeps trying to change the subject by questioning its constitutionality. The subject is the federal government isn't doing its job.
Right.
The federal government's job to secure the border. Please, Mr. President, Janet Napolitano, Barbara Boxer, do your jobs and secure the border.
Well, I don't know how it gets any simpler than that. And finally, this is another one of those kind of generic candidate questions. And by the way, we're talking to Carly Fiorina, who's running for Senate. Why you, as opposed to Tom Campbell, or you versus Chuck DeVore?
Well, Tom Campbell is not a conservative. I just disagree with him on the issues. I mean, this is a man who believes, like Barbara Boxer, that we should have American taxpayers funding partial birth abortion. This is a man who was Arnold Schwarzenegger's finance director and gave us the 2005 budget that committed us to spending we can't afford and created structural deficits, and therefore he now believes the way to close the deficit is to increase the gasoline tax by 32 cents a gallon.
Right.
Something he supported for many years.
I see a lot of daylight between you and Tom Campbell, obviously, but like Chuck DeVore being maybe I don't know, would you say the most conservative of the race, or is you two kind of tied for that title?
Well, I think people like Sarah Palin and the National Right to Life Council and California's Pro-Life Council all believe I'm pretty conservative.
Yeah.
And I think the difference between Chuck DeVore, with all due respect to him, the difference between Chuck DeVore and I is I can win. I can beat. Yeah,
that really, when it comes down to getting rid of somebody like Barbara Boxer, that has to be the first thing on your mind, is who's got a shot at taking her out.
That's right, and not everybody can. I have the support to beat her. We've raised more money than either one of our opponents by a wide margin. We have a stronger grassroots organization. We have more volunteers. We have the organization, the support, the money to actually beat Barbara Boxer. It's important to send a common-sense conservative to Washington, D.C., but it's also important to vote for somebody who can win.
Right, and right about now, a lot, because I know the Tea Party crowd's a big deal right now. I know they hold a lot of sway and all that stuff, and a lot of that, hardcore conservative street cred stuff. What I care about right now is jobs and the economy, in the future of the state. I mean, all that other stuff is nice, but right now I want somebody who knows a heck of a lot about business. Somebody who knows how to, not just create jobs but keep them. And that's really, and at the end of the day, and this sounds like a Fiorina plug, but you've obviously got more experience in that field than any of these other two guys. Is that part of your campaign?
Well, the truth is, I'm the only candidate in this race who's ever created a job, who's ever met a payroll, who's ever managed billions of dollars worth of expenses, and who's ever actually cut billions of dollars worth of expenses. And yes, I think that matters a lot. Our government intended ours to be a citizen government, by, for, and of the people. I think it's time we send some citizens, not career politicians, back to Washington, D.C. to bring some common sense to our government. But I would also quickly say that I welcome the Tea Party's support. I welcome Sarah Palin's endorsement, because Tea Partiers are people who, just like me, have had enough. We've had enough of out-of-control government. We've had enough of out-of-control spending. We've had enough of out-of-control taxing. And we've had enough of Barbara Boxer.
Yeah, boy, you couldn't have put that any better. Well, Carly, I wish you all the luck in the world. I really do. And like I said, stay at them, and you might just be the right person in the right place at the right time. And the one thing that I hear this over and over again, and I really appreciate it every time I hear it, is the common sense thing. Because this is not as complicated. I know the budgetary items. I know it's a big, thick deal, and it's scary and all of that stuff. But what we need to fix this problem is really just common sense business analysis.
Politicians want to make it seem so complicated as an excuse for why they haven't gotten anything done. It's not that complicated. It takes courage and will to get it done. But common sense will get it done.
All right. Well, I mean, go get them, and best of luck to you. And I really appreciate your coming on the show today. I never thought we'd get it done, but and yet we managed to make that happen. So thank you so much for checking in with us today.
Hey, Scott, thanks so much for having me. Have a great day.
Oh, I'm gonna. Thanks very much. That's Carly Fiorina. She's running for Senate.